Good day everyone, I'm Leigh Cadua from BSc 1-4 and I am going to report two topics, the Latin trait theory and family studies of Duke and Gallica's family. And before I continue and start, let me introduce to you the learning objectives. So our first topic is Latin trait theory. Let's proceed to the learning objectives that students should be able to know the definition of latent trait, retell the concept of latent trait theory, relate this theory to specific object, and provide situational instances, and lastly, know who developed this theory. So, latent trait definition. So, a trait is defined as something that is representative of an individual, differentiates him or her from other people, simple as your characteristic. So it is something personality would be stable trait you have over your life. And latent refers to this characteristic that is being concealed. So meaning it is not visible character because it is concealed or hidden. Okay, what is latent trait theory? The theory states that certain people have a personal characteristics that is responsible for their need to commit crime. So master trait present at birth, early in life, stable and over time. So master trait guides people over the life course. So personal attribute or characteristic trait that affects criminal propensity. The individual is often not responsible for what they do because their impulses are controlled by this specific trait. So if you are lacking of self-control, you might do crime or something that is unlawful. So crime not caused by choice but inherited by uncontrollable biological and psychological traits. That's why I've said earlier, the person with latent trait that is not obvious that he or she is not going to do it, however, its traits can change it. So, the individual does not commit crime unless there is opportunity. However, this latent trait is from the trait from the since the birth, early in life. Okay, so it is developed by Gottfredson, Hershey, Wilson, and Stein. So for a moment, so trait present at early in life, stable in overtime. So damage or impulsive personality defective, intelligent genetic abnormalities, and environmental influences on brain functions such as drugs, chemicals, and injuries. And take note, people to commit crime when they lack of self-control. People who is lacking with self-control will seize criminal opportunities. So one of the example is impulsive or sensitive person. They do not know what the consequences, as we can see here in the left side. So it is the impulsive person, sensitive person. While earlier, he is okay, but when he is on the phone and talk to someone, he barely angry. And the right side, latent traits, some people have a personal attributes or characteristic that controls their inclination or propensity to commit crime. When a person has an impulsive personality, this person in the right side, this person somehow commit crime. He acts in impulsive manner, like when he suddenly draws his gun, aiming at his enemy, but unfortunately, he hit another person. So, it is what we call nagdilim ang paningin at nagpadala sa galit. So, it's stimuli, meaning anything that makes the person react, or it may trigger antisocial act depending on the latent trait of a person, like the impulsive person. Also, as we can see here, the impulsive or sensitive person, we have a lot of degrees. We have 2 degrees, the high degree and low degree. So the high degree has an aggressive, and the low degree can control his anger. However, some people, when in the low degree, when they hit the bottom of their angerness, they blows up. Okay, so we all have inborn traits. However, we are not all the same, and there are different impulsivity, those who can control our positivity to commit crime. So, points to ponder. Does it mean if a certain person possesses a genetic abnormality, he is prone to criminality? Not all times. As mentioned in this theory, latent trait alone does not produce criminality. Number 2, what do critics say about this theory? Critics said that this theory describes personality traits rather than explain it. So that ends our first topic. Let's proceed to our second topic, the family studies of Jukes and Kallikak family. So we have the learning objectives. The student should be able to create concept maps of the family line of Jukes and Kallikak's family and apply the theory in real life situation. So, family studies of Jukes and Kallikak's family advocates of inheritance school of Henry Goddard, Richard Dugdale, and Arthur Estabrook traced several generations of crime-prone families, referred to by pseudonyms such as the Jukes and Kallikak's family, finding evidence that criminal tendencies were based on genetics. Their conclusion, traits deemed socially inferior could be passed down from generation to generation through inheritance. So let's proceed to the Jukes family firstly. Okay. So, Jukes family by Richard Dugdale. Interest on linking criminality with heredity. Appointed by the Prison Association of New York, thereby he discovered 6 inmates who were blood related. He launched a more in-depth investigation of the Juke family tree, tracing back 6 generations, leading him to an early Dutch settler, Max Juke. So, early criminologists believed that deviant behaviors can be transmitted to cross-generation. By famous family studies are the Juke and the Kallikak's family. So, Juke family was spearheaded by Richard Dugdale, a sociologist and a prison reformer. Dugdale had an interest on linking criminality and heredity, and he was appointed by the Prison Association of New York to make inspections, which provided him the chance to interview personalities and research on prison records. So, related, and this in turn intrigued him as perceived pattern of criminal inheritances. Okay, so Dugdale started his study on the 5 daughters of Max, Juke, Ada, Belle, Clara, Delia, and Effie. Ada Juke, known as Margaret, the mother of criminals. He found out that the 709 descendants, 181 were prostitutes, 142 paupers, and 106 illegitimate births. So, note that these pseudonyms meaning they are not the real names of this family. Of course, to protect the integrity and the reputation of this family. Dugdale described the 5 daughters in the family. Had one son, one bastard son who is postulator of a distinctive criminal line. Another sister had 2 illegitimate sons who appear to have no children. A third sister had 4 and 1 girl, and fourth sister had reputed case, while no information gathered respecting the fifth respect, but she was the another one distinctively popularized lines and married one of the sons of Max. Okay, so before I proceed to the Calicax family, let me add up. Dugdale, he itself concluded that heredity has a role in mental and physical aspects, and the behavior is shaped by environmental factors. Hence, to him, the conspiracy of environmental and heredity is consequential to the social family. Okay, let's proceed to the Calicac family. Calicac family by Henry Goddard. The study began when he was the director of research of an institution exclusive for feeble-minded individuals, the Vineland Training School. Calicac is pseudonym originally from the Greek word kalios, which means beauty or good, and kakos, which means that. He came across with a girl whom he named Deborah Calicac, a 22-year-old girl who later tested with a mental age of 9. He pursued retracing Deborah's tree, leading him to a person named Martin Calicac, a revolutionary war soldier. Martin had 2 separate relationships, which in turn represent the good offspring and the bad offspring, a Quaker girl whom he married and bore 7 children. Upon tracing, Goddard discovered descendants who were teachers, doctors, lawyers, and judges reputable profession in the society. These descendants considered to be the good side of the family tree. So, Calicac is a feeble-minded woman who Martin Calicac flirted. Martin Calicac Jr., who later rose into adulthood, married and fathered 7 children. Descendants were prostitutes, thieves, brothel owners, alcoholics, dissentious individuals. Jonathan, who was married to Sarah in 727, was a famous Puritan preacher and once a president in Princeton College. So as we end this reporting and topics, genetic view criminal behaviors as hereditary. Thus, parents who are criminals have more likelihood to breed criminally inclined children. However, let us not be overly isolated on the idea that a criminal male coupled by a criminal female at all times results to a criminal child. While criminal parents genetically increase the criminal likelihood through offspring, we cannot discount the idea that at certain times what appears to be genetically predisposed is actually the result of childhood negative experiences, environmental and social aspects, and lastly, the psychological abnormalities. So, that's all for our reporting and topic. And let me share this to you that everything is a learning experience. Once again, this is Leigh Cadua from BSc 1-4. Thank you.